Welcome back, and joining me is Consul Buddy Kunanan of the Republic of Georgia, also a former Soviet state. But anyway, I'd like to share with you something about the arts also. It's very interesting because last year we had 13 Russian artists, painters, and one Belarusian national artist who came to visit the Philippines on an expedition. And they went all over from Ilocos down to Mindanao, and also, well, they went to Tagaytay, they went to the Pagsanghan Falls, you know, all over. And they were very, very happy to experience the Philippines, the hospitality and all the landscape, you know. And this year, on the occasion of the 35th anniversary of relations between between Russia and the Philippines, they came up with this exhibit in the Senate, sponsored by Senator Angara and Congresswoman Gina de Venecia in Congress. So there was a nice exhibit, and I'd like to share some with you. But anyway, Sir Buddy, thank you for joining me this evening. I'm sure you also have a lot of things to share about what you're doing, you know, with the relations between Georgia and the Philippines.
Yeah.
I know you're very active. You've come up with several activities, cultural activities.
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to share it with our viewers tonight.
Yes, good evening, Annette, and I'm so glad to be here on your show, Icons in Circles. I'm your #1 fan
Thank
here
you.
in GNN, and I've always been, you know, now it's a good time to be on your show, and thank you very much for this opportunity to share what we're doing in the consulate with your viewers. Now, very nice project with Russia, this art project with Russia, and for the people who know you know, we're watching now, Georgia is very close to Russia geographically, and even during the time of the former Soviet Union, we were part of the Soviet Union, and along with Russia.
Right.
And so we do share a lot of cultural similarities, a lot of cultural you know, art forms and stuff. And even during the former Soviet Union, all the vibrant dances and songs and even cuisine really came from Georgia.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with a Georgian dish. It's called satsivi.
I love it.
Yeah, the chicken with walnut sauce, right?
There you go. Very Georgian.
But I know that Georgia is not Slavic, right?
No, no.
Yeah, but it's culmination of different cultures because it's in the middle of so many other
4 countries, to be exact. We're surrounded by Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and of course our big neighbor Russia to the north.
Russia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And what were the cultural activities, you know, that you have presented, that you have organized?
Well, principally, I'm very active in film, and I've already organized 2 film festivals of Georgian films here in the Philippines. And we're moving forward with this because, you know, film is an excellent medium to share your culture and
especially the comedy films.
Yes,
that Georgia is very good at.
Yes, and in fact, again, during the former Soviet Union, Georgian film or Georgian cinema has always been really on the cutting edge of things, especially during the East Bloc. I mean, we really have artistic people there, and in fact, I'm working very closely with the Georgian National Film Academy to bring Georgian films here, and working very closely with the Film Development Council of the Philippines as well.
All right. Well, you did come up also with a photo exhibit, no? Because
Yes.
I know Georgia has beautiful landscape, mountains, and
yes,
all
very
this.
stunning. We've got very beautiful monasteries, and of course, the defining feature of the country is the Caucasus Mountain Range, which is the highest mountain range, not peak, but the highest mountain range in Europe.
Ah, all right.
Yes,
That's
so very stunning, very panoramic landscapes and vistas, and simply breathtaking. And I did have two photo exhibits, and that's another thing we're working on for next year, bringing more photo exhibits of Georgia here to the Philippines.
What would be interesting would be to bring in Georgian dancers because they have that
Absolutely.
very colorful costumes. And,
Yes.
So.
In fact, as I said, during the former Soviet Union, when you talked about dances from the Soviet Union, it was really essentially Georgian dances. And yeah, this is a big project that I'm working on with my counterpart in Georgia, the honorary consul of the Philippines there. But it's a big project because Georgia's far away, and we have to bring the dancers and the performers here. And usually we're talking about a group of about 6 to 10 people.
Right.
So it really is a work in progress, and hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, we might be able to pull it off next year.
Well, it wasn't as easy as during Soviet times when everything was sponsored by the state, you know, by the USSR. So, but again, all right. Anyway, Georgia, okay, is not really popularly known here in the Philippines. So that's why you do have to exert a lot of effort, you know, to make people aware of the Republic of Georgia.
Yes, yes. Well, it's a small country. It's about the size of Austria. It's about 70,000 square kilometers. So put it in terms of Philippines, we're talking about roughly the size of Mindanao, a little smaller than Mindanao, and a population of about 5 million. So it's a small.
It's just 5 million.
It's just 5 million.
What is it? But you know, it's predominantly Orthodox.
Orthodox,
right?
yes.
But with some sprinkling of Muslims also.
Very little, very little. Maybe I would reckon the overwhelming majority of people are Christian. Catholics also very small, maybe even less than 5% of the population is Catholic. But really, it's really predominantly Orthodox Christian.
So do a lot of Georgians also come here, visit? Like, you know, there are a lot of Russians now that come for their vacation in the Philippines.
Yes, I know. I wish this is another thing we're trying to push in Georgia is tourism, and occasionally there are some Georgians who come, but not that many yet. And this is another area of growth that we are targeting.
Okay, what makes me curious is how come there's just 5 million? What, a lot of them migrated or what?
Well, that's very interesting you should say that. This is something they share similar with the Philippines, because there are a lot of Georgians overseas working.
I see.
And like the Philippines, we have there are OFWs
overseas
here.
Yeah, right.
In Georgia, about conservative estimates place it at about 15–20% of the population is overseas. In Russia, in the United States, in Western Europe, working all sorts of jobs. So we do have a big,
But basically, it's also an agricultural country. So.
It is basically an agricultural-based economy. Where, you know, a lot of good wine, a lot of vineyards. Again, that's another thing which dominated the East Bloc during the former Soviet Union. Was all the great wines in the East Bloc came from Georgia.
Right, and I think it's very difficult even to get Georgian wine nowadays. You know?
We're trying. That's another thing we're trying to bring in here, Georgian wine. But it's the Philippines is still a new market, so there are a lot of challenges to be faced. But we are trying to do that, and hopefully we should be able to bring in some bottles here.
All right. Well, let us know, and we'll feature it on the show. Yeah, but okay. If you allow me, I'd like to share some of the paintings that these Russian artists have come up with, you know, and they brought them here to the Philippines. And it's very interesting because through the eyes of a Russian, they were able to capture the beauty of the Philippines and the different parts of the Philippines. But anyway, we'll take a short break before I share this with you. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.